UFC 242 is in the books. Let's get straight into the recap and start off with the bonuses.
So we don't have the gate or the attendance numbers for you tonight. We didn't own the gate, so we don't have that stuff. They'll get it for you later. The gate was ridiculous. The attendance was amazing. Talk louder. Oh, bonuses? Yeah. Khabib, Azatar. These are fun names. Salikov and Muhammad. So there were 4 performance of the night bonuses and no fight of the night.
Khabib defeated Dustin Poirier via rear naked choke in the 3rd round.
Under the chin, there's the top!
After the stoppage, Khabib jumped over the cage and went to hug Dana, as seen in this footage. In the post-fight press conference, Dana reacts to the main event and says Khabib was completely dominant.
Can you just start giving your impressions of Khabib's performance tonight?
He looked unbelievable. Incredibly dominant, even though there was some drama in there when he was caught in that guillotine. A lot of people don't get out of that thing. Khabib is so good, he got out. Dustin had that thing deep. Most people would have tapped or went to sleep to that guillotine. So props on him for getting out of that too, and he looked completely dominant tonight.
Habib reacts to his win over Dustin and says although it was a dominant performance, Dustin did well in controlling some of his technique.
Were you expecting a more competitive fight, or is your expectation always that you're going to dominate?
No. I expect. I don't underestimate this guy because he beat a lot of good guys in lightweight division, a lot of tough guys, He's a tough guy. He's tough. He's not easy for nobody. His boxing is good. His movement, he have experience. He fight more than 20 times in UFC, He's a tough guy, And before I choke him, we fight very good,
Yeah.
It was a little bit domination, but I feel he control, not everything, but he can control some my technique stuff, like underground and stand-up.
In the post-fight press conference, Dustin Poirier recaps the fight and explains where it all went wrong for him.
Now that you've had a little time to reflect on what happened in there, can you just give us, some more thoughts aside from what you said in the cage?
The guy's good, man. He's a world champ. Maybe I could have done more. Hindsight's 20/20. I was very prepared for this fight, to fight 25 minutes. He did exactly what I thought he was going to do. Maybe, of course I'm going to beat myself up, and I'm the only one who has to deal with this, me and my family. But I'm just wondering if maybe against the fence, when I got underhooks, if I could have tried a little bit harder to get off the fence, maybe. But that's just questions that I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life. I thought for sure he was winning the rounds, obviously, taking me down and dominating, but I felt like he was squeezing hard. We were getting slicker. I felt like he was getting a little weaker. Coming into this fight, I thought later in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th were going to be my rounds. Not that I was planning on giving up the first 2, but I knew they were going to be tough. So coming back to the stool after each of those rounds, in the beginning, I wasn't getting damaged a whole lot with shots that were hurting. He cut me, but I thought the deeper we got into the fight, the more slick I was going to be able to be. But that's fighting, man. Stuff is tough.
Here are some reactions from Twitter about Khabib versus Poirier. Conor McGregor wants that Khabib rematch next. He tweeted post-fight, "Book my rematch for Moscow." Dylan Dennis backs up Conor and tweeted, "Mark my words, Conor McGregor will win the rematch." Brian Ortega reacts to Dustin's guillotine choke. He wrote, "If I had that neck like that, it would have been a wrap." Ben Askren reacted, "I'm pumped for Khabib Ferguson, hopefully sooner than later." Aljamain Sterling poses the question to the entire MMA community, how good is Ally Quinta? Sorry, but I had to say what everyone else was thinking. Derek Brunson is very impressed with Khabib's performance. He tweeted, "Many have tried, none have succeeded. Watching Khabib fights are amazing. The calmness to control, the ability to break his opponent's will to compete is outright fascinating." In the post-fight press conference, Dana says that Tony Ferguson is next in line, but he is also open to a Conor-Khabib rematch and says that it makes a lot of sense in case if Tony doesn't take the fight with Khabib.
What do you think is next for Khabib? Everybody's talking about Tony Ferguson. Do you feel like 5th time's the charm? Do we have to see that fight now?
He's next. I mean, Tony Ferguson is next in line for the fight if he accepts the fight. We'll see how this thing plays out. When Khabib will fight again, and if Tony wants to fight.
Many people talks about rematch, Khabib against Conor. Do you think is it possible to organize it? When and where Khabib next?
Did you just ask me if I'm going to rematch Conor and Khabib? Was that the question?
Yeah.
Okay. Tony Ferguson gets the next shot, and obviously, if for whatever reason Tony can't take the fight or doesn't want the fight at that time, then we would figure out what was next. But yeah, Conor would make a lot of sense. Conor McGregor wants that fight really badly, and I'm sure the fans would want to see it. So we'll see how this whole thing plays out.
Khabib talks about who can be his next possible opponent in an interview with ESPN. He says that Tony deserves to be next for the title.
Is that your expectation that Tony will be next?
UFC make decision.
Yeah.
UFC, I think yes, he deserves this. He on the line, and it's gonna be good fight. It's like, you know what interesting? Even you champion, even you undefeated, undisputed, like even you have 28-0, you know, it's like 12-0 in UFC. People gonna talk about, okay, this guy. Even if I beat Tony Ferguson, after Tony Ferguson, they gonna bring some guy and they gonna promote him. This guy gonna beat him.
Right,
This guy gonna beat
right.
him. This is a game, you know. Right now, I know it's like Tony is like not, after Tony is not finished nothing, you know. But right now, I win this fight. Last 2 years, it was so busy for me, you know, so much, I feel so much pressure. Give me a couple days for rest, you know. I'm gonna rest a little bit.
You've earned it.
And, you know, it's like, keep fighting.
And now for the rest of the card. Paul Felder defeated Edson Barboza via split decision. Islam Makhachev defeated Davi Ramos via unanimous decision. Curtis Blades defeated Shamil via TKO in the second round. Carlos Diego Ferreira defeated Mairbek Taisimov via unanimous decision. And that just about wraps up the main card.